Hey guys, it's Danny, and today we're gonna make the most delicious springtime soup. This is a creamy, cozy lemon chicken and orzo soup. It's light, it's bright, it's packed with protein and lots of fresh vegetables, and it is perfect for this time of year when you still might want something warm and nourishing, but not anything that's super heavy. It's kind of like sunshine meets a hug, and they both jump right into the bowl. Plus, I'm gonna show you a trick for creating a really creamy and rich broth without using any milk or cream. And I am so excited to be partnering with Our Place for this recipe. One of the questions that I often get asked is, which are the safest nonstick pans to use? And I can tell you that the Our Place ceramic nonstick pans are a fantastic option. They're made without any PFAs, PTFEs, or other forever chemicals, so you can cook with total peace of mind. With Our Place, you're not just cooking for flavor, you're cooking for health too. And I'm gonna share more on why I love them in just a bit. Now, whenever I'm making a quick cooking soup like the one I have here today, I like to do all of the heavy lifting before I get to the stove. So I'm just gonna prep anything that needs to be prepped in advance, because once we get going, things move pretty quickly. So I'm gonna start with some chopped onion. If you're using a large onion, you're gonna need about half of a large onion, and the easiest way to chop up an onion is to cut off the stem side of the onion. So this is the stem, this is the root. So you're gonna trim off the stem, lay it flat side down, cut your onion in half, and then you wanna peel off this papery outer skin. Lay it flat side down, and then you're just gonna create a tic-tac-toe board. So you're gonna make horizontal slices, and then you're gonna come over the top and create vertical slices. Then just come right over the top and slice straight down, and I promise you, if you take a little bit of time to master this, you will save yourself so much time in the kitchen. Now I'm also gonna need 1 cup of diced celery. What I like to do is I'll just trim off the edges, cut a large stalk of celery like this in half, then I cut it into strips and come back the other way. And I'm also gonna do something very similar for my carrots. So with the carrots, I like to trim off the tops and the bottoms. Then I'm just gonna peel off the skin. I've already washed them. And then I like to slice them in half. I find it's easier to work with them this way. And then depending on their size, I just cut them into boards and then lay them down, cut them into strips, and come back the other way. So basically we've got 1 cup each of diced onion, celery, and carrots. Then I'm also gonna need a couple of cloves of fresh garlic. I usually use 2 big fat cloves for this recipe, but since my garlic was kind of small, I'm gonna just use 3 or 4 smaller ones. Then we've got to prep the greens. Now I like to use a few cups of fresh baby spinach to finish this soup off. So I usually just grab a few handfuls and give it a rough chop. And then the real brightener outside of the fresh lemon juice is some fresh dill. So you just want to grab a little bit of fresh dill and then chop that up, and you're going to want to use about 2 to 3 tablespoons of that. Having it chopped and ready to go is just gonna help everything move faster once we get to the stove. Now, the only other ingredient that I'm gonna prep in advance is the chicken. And because I wanna keep this recipe super quick and convenient, I'm just gonna shred up some rotisserie chicken that I bought from the grocery store. And here's my tip. You wanna make sure that you shred the chicken as soon as you get it home from the store. Even if you don't plan on using it that day, you want to remove the skin and shred the chicken off the bone immediately while the chicken is still warm, because it's so much easier to work with this way. And if you don't plan on using it that same day, you can always put it into an airtight container and keep it stored in the fridge for up to 5 days. It really is a fantastic head start ingredient. You can use it to make chicken salad, quesadillas, and of course this delightful soup. Okay, so I'm excited to show you just how quickly the soup comes together. I'll start by heating 1 tablespoon of olive oil in a 5.5 quart pot. This is the perfect pot made by Our Place. So I've got that over a medium heat, and once that heats through, which will not take long, I'm gonna add in the onions, the celery, the carrots, the chopped up garlic, and then a big fat pinch of salt to help sweat the veggies. I'm gonna stir this and let it go for about 8 to 10 minutes. The goal is for those vegetables to become nice and tender, but you don't want them to brown. So you're just gonna stir them every so often and keep an eye on them. Now, while that's cooking, I'm gonna take just a moment to chat about pots and pans, because spring cleaning is not just for your closet. It's also the perfect time of year to clear out any old, worn down cookware, especially if it contains toxic materials, and upgrade to something safer and more beautiful. And the Our Place pots and pans are a fantastic everyday option for the healthy home cook. And not just because they're non-toxic and non-stick, but because they're thoughtfully designed, they perform beautifully, and honestly, they just make cooking more enjoyable. And once you try it, you're gonna see why I've become a fast fan. With just the Always pan, you can saute, steam, boil, roast, strain, fry, bake, braise, and serve. And when you pair it with the Perfect Pot, which I'm using today, you've got a complete kitchen system. And the best part is you can bundle the Always pan and the Perfect Pot together and save. So it is a total win for your kitchen and for your wallet. And the good news is that our place is currently running their biggest sale of the season. It's a site-wide sale with 30% off their best-selling products. The sale runs from April 24th to May 11th, so it's the perfect time to upgrade your pots and pans. And they also make a fantastic gift. So whether it's Mother's Day or Father's Day, maybe a spring wedding or a bridal shower, these pieces are both beautiful and practical. So any home cook, specifically those focused on health, would use them every single day. But keep in mind that the most popular colors and sets do tend to sell out very quickly during these sales, so don't wait too long to grab yours. You can shop directly using my link down in the description box below. And if you're watching this video after the sale ends, you can save 10% anytime using my code DannySpees10. Okay, so back to our soup. We can see that the veggies have softened a bit. They haven't browned. They're getting nice and tender. So that's how I know I'm ready for my broth. I'm gonna add in 8 cups of low sodium chicken broth. I always opt for the low sodium because you have more control over your seasonings this way. You can always add more salt, but you can't take it out. I'll turn the heat up just a little bit. Basically what you want is for this broth to come to a rolling simmer. It's gonna take a few minutes. Once the broth is at a simmer, I'm gonna add in 1 cup of whole wheat orzo pasta. Now orzo pasta is just like a tiny rice-shaped pasta that's going to make the soup a little bit heartier but still very light. I love to use the whole wheat options just because it has a little more fiber in it, but the traditional orzo would work just as well. Now the goal is to let this cook for about 6 to 8 minutes. You want the orzo to become al dente, so you want it to be firm to the bite, but you don't want to let it get very soft and mushy. Now, while that's happening, I'm gonna prepare a half a cup of fresh squeezed lemon juice. So this will be 2 to 3 lemons, depending on the size of your lemons. And then I'm going to whisk together 2 whole eggs, and I'm gonna combine the lemon juice with the eggs and then mix that together. Now this is gonna be the secret ingredient that's going to help to create this really creamy, rich, velvety broth without the need for any cream or butter. And I'm gonna show you how to do it. All right, let's just quickly test the orzo. I'm just gonna steal one, give it a little bite. It's perfect. It's al dente, it's still firm, it's exactly where I want it. So now I'm just going to add that shredded rotisserie chicken into the pot, give it all a stir, let it just simmer for another 2 to 3 minutes. I really just want to make sure that everything is heated through. And then I'm going to turn the heat off and bring the pot over to the counter and show you how to create this amazingly delightful creamy base. So step 1, we need to temper the egg and lemon mixture. If you add super hot liquid to the eggs, it's going to scramble them. They're going to cook very quickly. So what you want to do is just take 1 ladle of that warm broth and slowly, so slowly, like super slowly, you're going to start to just drizzle it into the egg and lemon mixture while you whisk. I like to go super slow. You're just basically very slowly bringing up the temperature of the egg mixture. Okay, and if you go nice and slow, you're going to remain with this nice bright creamy base. Okay, once you've got it mixed in, then you're going to take this egg mixture and slowly, while stirring, pour it into the pot of soup. Again, you're going slowly and you are stirring because we do not want to end up with scrambled eggs. And the reward for that is that you are going to end up with this beautiful, rich, creamy, almost velvety broth for the base of your soup. It's so light, it is so bright, and it has the best texture. Then to finish the soup off, I'm just gonna give it another hit of sea salt, a little black pepper, and then we're gonna bring in those fresh spring flavors, and I'm gonna add the chopped baby spinach along with that fresh dill. This recipe, it's so light, it is so bright, and it's so nourishing. Not to mention, it is absolutely delicious, and I have a funny feeling that this is the type of recipe you're gonna wanna make ASAP. It's just perfect for this time of the year. And remember, if you're feeling ready to level up your pots and pans, be sure to check out the link for our place in the description box below and shop their biggest sale of the season. You can save up to 30% off site-wide through May 11th. And if you're catching this after the sale ends, you can still save. Just use my code DannySpees10 and save 10% off your order at any time. As always, I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you back here next time with some more clean and deliciousness. Cheers!